Another link I almost sent you, and God, I hope I'm not really live right now. I was looking. I pulled out Zillion on Sega Master System.
Master System, yeah.
Haven't played it in 25 years. I think I mentioned this the other day. Open up the little plastic clamshell that the game comes in, like Sega things, and the little piece of graph paper popped out that my friend and I had mapped everything out on. It's like, oh my God, this was like our strategy guide that we made for ourselves in 1988, whatever it was. And so I started thinking about Zillion, and I wanted to play it. And I realized it's basically Impossible Mission.
Mm-hmm.
Because here was one of my questions: if you play Zillion, when you start the game, it shows like the start screen has the Master System gun, except it says Zillion on there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, that's cool, but this isn't a light gun game. Why is the light gun here? And so this video explained, oh, well, it's it's based on an anime from Japan, and the light phaser was in the thing in Japan, and they also had a laser tag, which used the same gun. But in America, they had to paint the tips of the gun orange.
I don't remember the orange cap thing happening until the kid got shot playing laser tag, and that actually happened out here in Rancho.
I don't know when that was. I never heard that story. I don't remember the thing happening until
it's
early 90s.
Put kid gets shot playing laser tag, and it was the story that started it all. Kids were playing at a school late at night. Kids, now I think they might have been in high school. I'm not sure. But cops rolled up on them. They had guns, and the cop opened fire on the kid. And then it was like, let's change the NES zapper to orange. I had the original gray one. And then everything started getting orange tips. So, yeah, that happened right out here in Rancho Cucamonga.
I hear they have Chili Buster service out there.
They do have Chili Busters, but that was okay for me because I was not cool enough to have the laser tag. I had the photon gear, which was the one with the Worlds of Wonder, I think, made it, and it had the big helmet. It was like an orange or a red and green helmet.
Worlds of Wonder is another one of those things we're going to have to talk about at some point, because that came out of Atari. Those products probably would have been Atari products.
Yeah.
Or not made at all. Teddy Ruxpin, laser tag, and the salespeople working distribution for Worlds of Wonder were former Atari salespeople that had relationships with.
Well, wait, was Photon Worlds of Wonder or laser tag? Laser tag was Worlds of Wonder. My bad.
Yeah, I remember.
Entertech was Photon, and they had some really cool. They had these machine guns, water guns that looked like real machine guns, and it had like a motor in it, and so you could like pull the trigger on it, and it would like blast like crazy. They were great looking. They had like little Uzis. I think we had like Uzis. There was a machine gun, Entertech, I believe. I see that.
You're looking at that?
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
So, something I learned today. Now look at this. Look at this light gun.
Yeah.
That is
the Master System. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, but this is a laser tag, or a knockoff laser tag that they had in Japan, and I think that they later sold this throughout Europe. And then Tectoy, who Sega's had a relationship with for like 30 years, they make those Brazilian Master System and Genesis.
Yes, yeah.
They picked this up too, and this was taken right out of the same mold.
Yeah.
And then,
no kidding.
Let me find this other one here. What's that thing we hate? ZX Spectrum, Sinclair,
the Sinclair.
Before I could X that dude out, talking about guns and stuff. he started bringing up the Sinclair light gun, which it's not exactly, it's not the same mold, but it's damn close. It's a knockoff, which is even worse.
It's like they took the original and then like added a bunch of shit on the side of it.
It's like what the Chinese do. It's like,
yeah,
we're not going
exactly.
to design our own thing. We're just going to copy what Sega did.
Yeah,
Because right here would have been the label. It looks very similar, but it's much more cheaply made, and it doesn't perform as well, and it's not quite the same size.
right, right.
That would have,
And I'm sure there was some really amazing games on the Sinclair to play that with.
I hear that. I hear so much about the Sinclair. You would think
Yeah.
that would have. I mean, why have a Nintendo? Why even deal with Mario or Zelda or Metroid when you can pull up that ZX Spectrum?
3 colors. You got the 3 colors on there,
Mm-hmm.
and they definitely have the blast processing for
Oh,
that.
yeah,
So.
right. Anyway, so that's what I learned today. Who's messaging me here?
Now, Zillion 2 is supposed to be pretty good too for the Master System.
I hope. I've never played it. The guys I was listening to today were ragging on it. And I don't care. It's something worth adding to my collection. I've never played it, but it could be cool. It would have been fun to have been moderately wealthy in the early to mid 80s, or just ever. To be able to grow up in a house where, I have Nintendo and Sega and Atari and TurboGrafx.
Right.
We have that now, but imagine having this at the time. There's a lot of good reasons to own a Master System.
My gameplay on the Master System was I cleaned up shop at Sears when it was like Sega Master System was on the way out, Nintendo was on the way out, Super Nintendo, it was like Super Nintendo, Genesis, and like everything else in between. And I believe those Master System games were like in the Sears wish book for like a couple bucks a piece. Super cheap. Yeah, super cheap. Like
when was this?
early 90s.
I would have loved to have gotten all over that.
Early 90s.
Even if they were like $12.
Yeah, they were about anywhere from like maybe like $5 to $10, right? So, dude, I just cleaned house on that, man. I anytime I could, I'd buy some Master System games.
You had a Master System at the time?
Yes, I bought a Master System from a kid that I went to school with for $20.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's the cool one. It's like the first gen with the,
So I also paid $20. I got mine new from KB Toys, also $20, but it was the Master System 2, and this would have been, it was beyond on its way out. I mean,
yeah,
like 93.
Yeah. Lot of really good games for it. Dead Angle is a great game. If you ever get a chance to play that one, dude, it's probably got the best version of Roston ever.
Yes, dude, I have that. I grew up with that. I've only had
such a great version.
Yeah, I've had less than, like, when I was growing up, I had less than 10 Master System games. Yes. But I had Raston, and dude, we played that all the time. It's like Raston and Shinobi and some of the others.
Yeah, Shinobi, great game.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Even, and it was almost sort of like I was playing like a spiritual successor, which in a way I was, to the Master System, was, playing all of the Game Gear games. And just knowing, seeing like a picture of some Mickey Mouse game, and you're like, oh, look, that's the same Mickey Mouse game, or that Sonic on my Game Gear looks exactly like the Sonic that they're showing pictures on the Master System.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that right away at the time. I figured that out a little bit later. But I don't ever remember seeing Sonic available on Master System in the US until I was a adult retro collector.
I don't think I paid any attention to it, to be honest with you.
It's not half bad. It's amazing what they can pull off on the Master System.
On the
I
Master
think with
System.
Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat looks pretty good on the Master System.
I had it for the Game Gear.
Right, yeah.
And I would like I remember being in high school and I was like begging people, dude, buy Mortal Kombat for Game Gear. I'll bring my system link, you know, and we'll play. We could play, you know, during passing period and stuff like that, or we could play. You know, I was just trying to get people to play Mortal Kombat on the Game Gear, and that was pretty decent.
Yeah, I did that with Lynx, and we would link up and play surfing on California games in the hallway between classes. It was just long enough of a game. What is it? 1 minute 30 seconds to surf. That's just long enough to get 1 or 2 rounds in.
I didn't have anybody to play with Lynx. I knew one kid, but he went to a different school that had a Lynx. You know, I'm like I'm like the last man standing with the Lynx.